Well, good morning, my friend. Welcome to the Pastors Podcast this Monday morning, February the 9th. It is a beautiful day here in the Oklahoma City area. I know this. They're saying it's going to get 78 degrees here, February the 9th. Well, that's quite the winter time. Our temperatures are all over the place. My nephew, I kind of jabbed at him yesterday. He's out in New Jersey, and his temperatures were, I think, in the teens while we were in the 70s. And so I'm really feeling sorry for you. Not really. I like this kind of a winter, and just to warm it up just a little bit. I care less what the global warmers think. God's in control. Read the book of Revelation. We're going to be okay. Don't let the godless stop you. And I'm excited about being in the Lord's work. Great day yesterday. And we finished it out last night with dedicating our faith building to the Lord as a church whole and singing in the faith building. Boy, that was just, I'm still, I don't know if I've ever seen our church get so excited about it and about something, but it was exciting. And seeing what God, and you'd have to understand, I put out a little video explaining everything of what's kind of got, where we were to where we are now and what God did there with the faith building. And truly, it was a work of faith. And grateful for all the work of all the people that were involved in it. We got a few little things that we've got to complete in it. It should be done this week. It's not long to do it. But looking forward to God doing some great things for the Lord. Always wonderful to be in the work of the Lord. And I'm enjoyed a great day on yesterday and seeing God do some great things there, and certainly grateful for that. I want to talk to you. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 10. The scripture says, and indeed ye do it toward all the brethren which are in all of Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more. So Paul's desire for this church in Thessalonica was that it would increase more and more. Now, increase in the Lord's work it's not a dirty word. But it ought to be the goal of every pastor and believer that their church increases. Now, you're going to notice that Paul didn't just want an increase and for it to stop. But he said he wanted the church to increase more and more. In other words, a perpetual increase is what he was talking about. He says, if you'll do this, you follow this model, he says, you're going to increase more and more. Notice this model that we see here that Paul is talking about. First, you must have a mind to increase. So nobody increases by accident. That's why he said increase more and more. That's a mindset. So you've got to have the mindset, get this now, that you're going to increase, because as you increase, you reach more people for Jesus Christ. So it's a godly mindset to have an increased mindset. Don't worry about the losers out there that say, well, you're just after numbers. Okay, that's normally the guys running 2 or 3 who's complaining about the guy who's running several hundred, and they just want to get there. So the way they justify is criticize the guy who's doing something instead of getting a mindset increase. You will fail to increase if you don't get a mindset to increase. Second, you must not stop pursuing increase. So again, increase is a mindset, and that mindset must never settle. Though you have seen some increase, you got to keep on going. Many have seen increase, then they got comfortable, and then they stopped, and it hurt their future growth because they got comfortable with the increase that they have. Now, the pursuit of increase must be a lifelong pursuit if growth will be a part of your life or ministry. Third, you must keep records to increase. Now, you'll never know if you're increasing if you're not keeping records. So, around here, I keep a lot of records. Now, nothing will squelch your growth more like not keeping good records. Records let you know when your increase has stopped. It'll also let you know when you are doing something good, despite maybe a down day. Someone who wants to increase more and more must be a person who keeps good records of their attendance and what they're doing, or whatever they're going to do, whatever they're doing, they got to keep good records of it. Fourth, you must not meddle in another's area that'll pull you away from the increase. Now, Paul told them, he said that they needed to study to be quiet. Now, why? Because he understood that once they started meddling in everybody else's business, it's going to hurt the increase. Now, he was admonishing them. He was just saying, mind your own business. Can I tell you, if we just minded our own business and worried about trying to grow our own church, you'd be amazed how many churches would start growing. But this is our problem. We've got too many guys worrying about every other church and what every other church is doing. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we ought to stand for truth. I believe that. And I believe that when let's say a church, a college church especially, that's what I'm going to talk about, when they're trying to get our young people into their colleges, then I think that we do have a right to call them out because they're affecting our church. But on the whole, most churches, leave them alone. Just leave them alone. You're not going to help your church. You're not going to hurt your church. Listen to me. You're going to hurt your church more by pointing out everybody else than you ever will. So stay in your own area. Fifth, you must do your own business if you want to see increase. So one of the great things that keeps increase from happening is people stop doing their own business for things that will not matter in the Lord's work. So as a pastor or a church, I've learned that I've got to give my full attention to my church and not be concerned with things that will pull me away from my church. My heartbeat is I want my church to continue to increase. And I got to keep my mind focused on that. Anything that would pull me away from that, I can't do. So you got to understand, some of these things are not bad things, but they will keep you from increasing more and more. Six, you must be honest with yourself if you want to see increase. So Paul told this church to walk honestly. This is interesting. You got to be honest with yourself about how you're doing and whether you're truly giving the effort needed to increase more and more. You got to give your best effort. You're sure not to get increase if you don't give your best effort, but give your best effort. And you can lie to yourself that, well, we're doing good when you really aren't. And honesty is critical to seeing the increase because it tells you when you're doing something and when you're not. And by the way, honesty with yourself will cause you to be honest with others. And people will not take to you lightly when you start becoming dishonest. Now, my desire is that every church sees increase more and more. That's my desire. The cause of Christ and the plight of souls needs churches worldwide to see increase more and more. The hope of America is not who wins a political office. The hope of America is every church increasing more and more. I want you to get that mindset. Strive to increase more and more. And let's see what God can do in our churches worldwide to take this world back to Christ. As we get ready for the Lord's return, let's do our best to get the gospel out and grow our churches in a world that's increasingly becoming hateful towards God. We can still reach people for Christ and grow our churches. I believe that. The church in the book of Acts, in the most volatile time against the local church, that church turned the world upside down for Jesus Christ. During the times that people were being martyred, they had a world that had church that turned the world upside down. So let's do the same thing in our world. It might be bad out there, but that just gives us a better way to shine the light so we can reach more people for Jesus Christ. Well, I hope this is a help to you today. Now let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough